Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Lachauskas. Today is the 17th of July 2018, so welcome to this afternoon session where we're gonna have a look at a few instruments that I've picked for this video. I believe they're quite interesting. Before we do that, of course, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content of this webinar does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Also, just a very quick reminder of our JFD Brokers research page, where you can go in and have a look at different analysis that we do on a daily basis. We'll throw out different trading shoutouts, different technical analysis on their own, and of course our daily report that we produce every morning. So yep, feel free to check us out, and I think you can find something useful for yourselves. But for now, let's have a look at the charts. Now the first one I want to touch on, guys, is the Nasdaq 100. Now we can see that Nasdaq kind of continues, hitting those all-time highs here, but yesterday's candle actually turned bearish now, and just looking at currently at the cash market, we're seeing a bit of a decline, so we could expect this one opening a little bit lower here today, so watch out for this one, and probably we could eventually open below this key level of resistance that we had here in the past, and now it's going to act as a level of support. So this the 73.10 mark, so we could end up opening below this one, and if that's the case, we probably at some point today we could maybe see a reversal back to the upside, test this line again, and then move lower, so something like that. So you can also probably note here that we are within this rising channel formation as well, so certainly we kind of are just a few kind of points, let's say, short of touching this upper side. Now it would be possible, of course, for this one to kind of move higher here again, but to be honest, judging by the way everything is developing right now in the cash market, we could see a bit of a decline here and a move lower. So let's see how it goes. Certainly, if we put a 4-hour chart here, now this is where you could eventually position yourself, let's say like that, for a possible move higher here. If we see a nice move here above the 73.85 mark, approximately there, if we do get a nice move above it, then well, this is opening the path towards this higher level here, this higher upper side of the rising channel. Now certainly for that, before we start considering that, we need to see this nice move above the 73.85 mark. But for now, like I said, keep your eyes open. At this point, probably we could be moving a little bit lower today, but let's see how the day evolves. Certainly the key level to watch for today would be this 73.10 mark. If we get a reversal, let's say if we move lower below it, touch the levels here, the key areas underneath here, or even actually touch this 21 EMA shown here as the yellow line, if we touch that but then reverse back to the upside, well, certainly, like I said, this area could be a potential key area to watch over a few days, upcoming days. So keep an eye on this one, guys. Could be interesting. Let's quickly have a look at one commodity or precious metal, which I really wanted to show you guys, and that's the silver. Now look at silver, and it's testing currently its nice area of support here at around 15.625 approximately there. So keep an eye on this one, guys. I mean, certainly keep an eye on today's close. Let's see what he wants to do with this level. If this level is going to act as a nice area of support, and then we'll see a reversal back to the upside here, then we could eventually maybe target this level right here, the 15.75 mark. So basically, just to kind of recap here, so this 1625, do apologize, guys. 16.625. There we go. Finally got it. 16.625 has acted as a nice area of support here in December last year. So probably this is going to be a very key level to watch here. If we do get a nice close below this, well, this could eventually open the path towards these lower levels that we saw here in July time and last year as well. So a good one to watch could be around this area right here at this low that we saw on the 10th of July, and that's approximately around, let me just kind of put a line here quickly, there we go, and that is approximately around the 15.20 mark. So something like that, guys. Keep an eye on this level. Could be a good one for the longer term, but for that, of course, we would need to see a nice close here below this 15.625. My mistake, guys. 15.625. There we go. So we need to see a nice close here below that level in order to kind of start considering the upper side. On the downside, on the upper side, we need to see a nice move here above the 15.75 in order to kind of start considering maybe higher levels again, maybe a bit of a correction back to the upside, so something like that. But at the moment, like I said, it seems to be more bearish than bullish, so the upside could be slightly off the table for now. Let's have a look at a few pairs that I really wanted to touch on with you guys, and that's the first one is the Euro Aussie. Now this is something that we've posted here on our trader and JFD research account here on TradingView, and I've posted that on yesterday actually, yeah, where we kind of entered a position here around this level. Let me just put a 4-hour chart for you guys here. Yep, there we go. And so we had a nice run here. Certainly we can see that it was kind of trading a bit sideways. We moved higher, then we moved lower again, but then actually nevertheless this key area of this 157.75 approximately there kind of held, and we can see that we're getting a continuation move here to the upside. So our target here for this trade is this upper side here, this 158.75 mark, approximately there, approximately this area, just because we can see that on this picture here, on the bigger picture, we are trading here within this range here between the 158.75 on the upper side and on the downside between the 157. Could be a very good area as well to watch here if this suddenly reverses back down. But for now, at this point, I mean, we are in profit already, so probably we could eventually start moving our stop loss just before the entry, and in order to protect ourselves. So something like this could be a nice trade, a continuation, and we could aim for this 158.75. And this is just, I wanted to show you guys what's happening with the Euro Aussie. Something, like I said, we're quite proud of where is it going right now, and that we managed to get this one right. GBPJPY. Now this is another one. Today a lot of GBP is just the British pound is getting hit here today, so this is one of the pairs that's declining, and certainly we can see that now it tested the upside support line here that has been running since the lows of the 28th of June. We have almost managed to hit this level here, the 148 mark. Just we're shy of a few pips away from that level, so for now we're just getting a bit of retracement back to the upside. Certainly keep an eye on it. We could see a continuation fall here to the downside, but like I said, for now, still until this line is intact, we're gonna stay more bullish than bearish on this one, and certainly we're going to start aiming for higher levels if we see a nice bounce from this line and a move higher then. So, but for now, at this tricky spot here, we're just going to continue watching it. Certainly, like I said, until the line is intact, we're going to remain bullish. But once we get a nice break here below, a break and a close could confirm the change in trend here in the short-term trend. We could then start moving lower here, but first, of course, we need to see that break and a close below this upside support line, and then eventually below this 148 mark. So keep an eye on this one, guys. Be very careful. We could potentially squeeze a nice trade out of this if this starts to move lower. But on the upside, like I said, if we get a nice rebound, well, we could eventually start targeting this this upside trend line that has been running here since let me just quickly remind you that since April 2017. So we can see that we've managed to touch that trend line twice here already. So from underneath, it proves to be a quite important line to watch. But like I said, if this is going to break, if this short-term support, upside support line is going to break, then we could see maybe a continuation move to the downside here. If this reverses back up here and moves above this line, above this long-term upside trend line, then yep, we could start aiming for higher levels. So for now, guys, just keep on monitoring this level, this area, this range here. So let's see what it wants to do with the 148 mark, and of course this upside support line. Let's quickly touch on one more pair that I really wanted to show you, and that's GBPCHF. So we are moving lower on this one. We're quite getting a nice sell-off here today. Let me just put a 4-hour chart, or actually before I jump into the 4-hour chart, as you probably can see, we are stuck in this little range here as well. So this range here is between the 132,700 and the approximately around the 130,500, so something like that. We are stuck in this little kind of box here. So putting the 4-hour chart on right now, we can see that it found its support here at around 130.85 mark, approximately there. Now this this level has been marked here by the lows of the 9th of July, so which we saw on Monday, actually last Monday. So that was the low for last Monday, and we're seeing that it's rebounding nicely back to the upside right now from this one. Certainly we could see a continuation drop here to the downside once the bears kind of gonna get comfortable with this one again, and maybe they, like I said, they would push the pair back down. But this is where you need to be very careful, because if the bulls actually decide to drive the pair all the way back above this short-term upside support line here, and if we get a close above this support line, then this is, to be honest, this could be looking a bit more bullish than bearish on the short run. So keep an eye on this one, keep an eye on this upside support line. Certainly keep on watching this retracement right now, which we're seeing. So we could eventually squeeze something out of it from this one. But like I said, if we get a move right back above this support line, then probably we're going to become more bullish than bearish on this one. But if we get back down closer to this 130.85 mark, this is where the part we're going to continue monitoring, because a break below that could open the path towards these lower levels here, especially the 135.50. So guys, for now, keep an eye on it. And the one last pair that I really wanted to touch on, guys, is the USDCAD. Now, let's put a daily chart quickly on this one, and we're seeing a nice reversal here from this key area of support at around 131.250. Certainly, one could say that it was broken here in the past. Yes, it was, and we moved kind of back above it again. But then we saw that the candle here on the 11th of July kind of found the body kind of found its support here at around this level as well. So this level kind of is the highest point that we had here in March this year. So this 131.250, and we're seeing a nice push away from this level right now. So keep an eye on it, guys. We could see a continuation here to the upside. We could see maybe a move towards this 21 EMA shown here as the yellow line, and then eventually, if that doesn't hold, we could see a test of this 132.250 mark, which where the pair saw its resistance on the 12th and on the 11th of July. So very good level to watch here, guys, the 132.25. Keep an eye on that one, especially if we get a nice move above the 21 EMA here shown as the yellow line. So, but if we do get a close move here and we touch this 132.25, watch out for a potential break. I mean, this could lead to a break, could potentially lead to a break, and we could start aiming for higher levels, or even maybe actually towards this 133.50, where we saw the kind of the pair bouncing around in the end of June. So good level to watch, 133.50. Certainly just slightly above that we do have the 133.800 approximately there, 850, something like that. So That is only, of course, we will consider that level as, if we get a nice break here above the 133.50. But before we actually start getting, like, in considering all these levels here above, we need to see a nice move above the 132.25, where the pair, it seems that where the pair is heading towards to right now. Okay guys, I'll have to wrap it up here. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and if you want to join me tomorrow morning at my Traders Espresso, please do. And that's 6 o'clock GMT time, 7 o'clock British Summer Time. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.